Today I'm going to show you a quick little background blur hack for objects and animals in Luminar Neo, sort of. Here we are in Luminar Neo, and the first thing you want to do is go into your structure AI. And typically structure is used to bring out details in your image. So if I slide this all the way up, you're going to see those details become more prominent. If we take the slider to the left, you're going to see that it softens that image and kind of blurs out all the details. With this in mind, what we're going to do is go into masking here. Simply click on masking. Then we're going to click on mask AI. Next, I'm going to select natural ground because since the grass is most prominent, it's going to make a pretty good selection. This method may or may not work for you, so you may have to do some manual masking or use other options based on your image. But the goal here is to mask the background. Next, we're going to go back to the other area here. Make sure you click on show so you see the mask. We're going to click on brush. Now what we're going to do is delete areas to mimic depth of field. So around this area is typically where it's going to be mostly in focus and of course the subject. So make sure you're on erase. I'm going to bring the strength to about 70 and use a fairly big brush. So I'm going to slide it from left to right, and as I slide the cursor, I'm going to hold on to the mouse button and simply paint away the mask here, probably around this area as well. The way depth of field works, it's a gradual effect. So the farther you get, the more blurry it is. So how we could mimic that is to lower the strength. I'm going to bring it down to, let's say, about 21. And this time I'm going to just go over the mask just once to lightly make a gradual effect here. I may want to do it again. So I'm going to hold it again, do it twice, and then do it one more here just once. So we get kind of a gradual effect, and in the top area here where it's most red, we'll still have that blur effect. We can also get rid of it here in the foreground. Maybe just leave a little bit of it showing. And then we want to head over to adjustments and bring the structure AI down. Now if I bring it all the way down, it gives it that kind of smudged, blurry look. So it's a little too much. I think if we maybe bring it to about that point, it looks a bit more natural. So if I do a before and after, if you look in this area, we'll do a before and after. It's a very subtle blur, which is good. You never want to overdo it. And before we go to the next step, we want to go back into masking. Now you can do this before you apply the structure AI, but if you didn't, you can go back into masking, click on copy, because we're going to use the same mask for the next step. For the next step, you want to either use mystical or glow. Let's start with mystical. Go into the masking section and mask actions. And this is where we can paste the mask and click on show. And you're going to see the exact same mask that we use. You're going to head back into adjustments, take the slider and bring it to the right. And it's really up to you on the effect that you want. So I'm going to bring this to about 66 here. Let's see if I want to bring any of the shadows up or down. Smoothness, we can make it a lot smoother to kind of give it that like f1.4 aperture type of look, and it gives it kind of that buttery smooth background look. Okay, if we look in this area, we do a before and after, a very subtle look, gives it just a bit more pop, just a bit more smoothness. So let's do another overall before and after, before and after. And then if we zoom in here, do another before and after, and you see that it kind of gives it that blurry background effect. I'm going to remove the mystical effect here, and I'm going to show you how it looks for glow. So here we have glow. We're going to do the same thing, go under masking, actions, paste. Now the great thing about glow is that you have different effects. You have soft focus, glow, Orton effect, and Orton effect soft. So if we look at soft focus first, I'm going to exaggerate this. It further softens the image, but also brightens the image. If you click on advanced settings, it'll bring you more options here where you can bring the brightness up, you can bring it down. We can play with the contrast and give it less or more. And also you can play around with the warmth if you want it to look cooler or warmer. I quite like the soft focus effect because again, it softens the background a bit more to mimic that blur effect. Now, if I leave the same settings and switch to glow, it's not as prominent as soft focus. So I would have to, tweak the settings here if I want it brighter, maybe softer, but still works very well. If we look at the Orton effect, it's very similar to the soft focus effect. And of course, lastly, we have the Orton effect soft, which also looks great. On the screen, I'm going to show you a few more examples of where I've used this technique, but if I'm being very real and honest with you, I wish that the Portrait Bokeh AI feature was just Bokeh AI and it worked for objects and animals. And it would be nice to have some blur effects in Luminar Neo. Now before you go, just a heads up, there is a sale going on for Luminar Neo. I'll leave details in the description below. It's ending June 10th, so you still have a few days to take advantage of it. Now if you want to learn some simple masking techniques, be sure to check out this video where I cover 3 ways to use masking in Luminar Neo. Until the next video, my friends, I'll see you when I see you.